Hello, welcome to Tier Nerd. This is another tier list. So we are once again looking at anime that start with the letter T. This is part two in the series. After this, we're just going to have one more video and we'll be done. So this is part T, part two, and we got 7 anime here. Now, it's actually just 2 franchises. So I left the more popular anime for last, just like I did with the letter S. So first, we're gonna go over the the magical index series and the railgun and the accelerator and all of that. So we're gonna go over that first. All of these are basically stories set in the same universe, but just told from different perspectives. Then we have Tokyo Ghoul. So I got Tokyo Ghoul. I got Tokyo Ghoul split up into 3 seasons. So first, let me give you the Japanese titles for these. So first we have Toaru Majutsu no Index. So a certain magical index. That's the English title. Yeah, it's a mouthful. So I'm gonna rate the first 2 seasons, and then I'm going to rate the 3rd season because the first 2 seasons I have a different opinion than the 3rd season. So first 2 seasons, I think I'll give it a B tier, maybe a solid B tier. It's got its points. It's very interesting and got good characters. But the problem it has is that the story can get kind of fast paced and they have a lot of characters and it's very hard to keep track of everything. It's very easy to get lost. This is one of those anime where they just throw a lot of stuff at you. It's much worse in the 3rd season. But in the 2nd season, in the 1st and 2nd season, it's still manageable. You can still sort of keep up with the story, and it is very interesting. They're in a like special city where people have like psychic abilities, and the main character he doesn't have any, but he has the ability to cancel all psychic abilities and so it's yeah, interesting concept. It's like a comedy with a lot of action. So yeah, very interesting characters and overall good story. I think it's high beat here. It has some flaws that keep me from putting it up in the A tier, but I think it's a solid high upper B tier. Then we got the 3rd season. The 3rd season, I'm going to give a C, maybe like even a mid C, because the 3rd season takes all of the flaws from the first 2 seasons and just amplifies them. So the 3rd season, they rushed it. They totally rushed it. Everybody knows it. Like anybody watching the 3rd season that did not read the light novels, because they're based off light novels. This show is based off light novels. Was very confused. Like people would go on Reddit and they would read what people wrote. Like people would be nice and they would add details and information and fill in the blanks. And I think maybe some people that were really motivated started reading the light novels because the 3rd season just rushed everything very quickly. A lot of stuff thrown together, a lot of characters thrown together. It just seemed very haphazard, almost random, and you just stopped asking questions. Like you just got used to the fact that you had no idea what was going on in the story. So 3rd season, it still has the cool action aspect to it, but it's just too rushed. Like you can tell it's rushed. It was rushed. Like they could have made the 3rd season into 2 separate seasons, and that would have probably made a huge difference in the how comprehensible the story is. But it was very incomprehensible. Okay, then we got the railgun, Towaru Kagaku no railgun. So a certain scientific railgun. So that's in the Majutsu Index, you get one perspective, and then you get another perspective in the Majutsu no Index. I mean, in the Kagaku no railgun, basically, a certain scientific railgun. So this one's more girly because it's from the perspective of Mikasa. So basically, it's like Wait, whoops. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, I messed that up. It's not Mikasa. It's Misaka. Mikasa is from Attack on Titan. The main character of Railgun is Misaka. So, and the main character of Index is Toma. So you get, here you get Toma's perspective, here you get Misaka's perspective, and there is some overlap between the stories because you get different perspectives. So you get some overlap here. So here's a Railgun. Now Railgun, I think they have like 2 seasons now, or maybe three. Now, I forget. But there's this show. It's not quite a shojo, but it's basically a little more girly because it's the main character is a girl and all her friends are girls, and you just get a different perspective. So you get to see everything with her as the main character. I think it's solid. I think they're both about the same. This one's a little more serious, I guess. Railgun maybe a little less serious, but she's a really cool character. She's really powerful, really cool. So, um, I mean, just a bunch of fan service and etchy in here. Like some of it exists in Index, but it's worse in I think here because they're all girls. So you get more of that. But so I think, but they're both solid. I think they're both solid Bs here. They had good openings. I remember really liking the openings for Index, for example. Yeah, but yeah, interesting choice of an anime opening. Kind of unique, but I did like it. So yeah, I think they're both solid B tiers. Then we have Accelerator. So I don't know how to rank it. Basically, Accelerator is a character in this is still in the same universe. This is a spin-off where it's from his point of view. So he's a really cool character. Accelerator is probably one of my favorite characters in this, in the universe, in this show. But unfortunately, this anime is kind of boring. Like it's like a spin-off anime. It's like 12 or 13 episodes, and it's just kind of boring. Like it just takes the worst aspects, and it doesn't make as much sense. And I like him as a character. I just don't like the show very much. So I don't know if I should give it upper C tier or lower B tier. I still think it's better than that third season, but I think I'll give it upper C tier because it is kind of bad. Very rushed show, kind of bland, but the character himself is cool. Accelerator is a cool character, and you'll see that in these two shows. So he's like probably like one of the strongest characters in the whole show. So that's my opinion of the Railgun and the Index universe. So notice not very high opinions, B and C, because this franchise has some serious flaws in pacing and storytelling, and that it shows. Then we have Tokyo Ghoul. So I don't know why I'm rating anime that are very overrated, but so I think this show, Index and Railgun, it's a bit overrated. Tokyo Ghoul is very overrated. The first season of Tokyo Ghoul, I might give a mid B tier, maybe mid B tier. So I don't know what it is, but Tokyo Ghoul also has issues with storytelling and pacing. I don't know what it is with both of these franchises, but they both have issues with storytelling and pacing. And it's not quite as bad in the first season. So, like always, the first season's a little better. But still, like they skip over some stuff. Like, yeah, Tokyo Ghoul feels rushed. I think that's one of the problems in Tokyo Ghoul. It just feels rushed. Like people say, read the manga. I don't read manga. Apparently, the manga's good, so maybe the manga is good. That's what everybody else is saying. They say the anime is not as good as the manga, which fine. I agree with that. So Tokyo Ghoul is ranked really high, very popular. Lots of people have watched it, high rating, and I don't agree with it. It's definitely overhyped. Definitely nowhere near as good as people say it is. I'm not really into the whole horror thing and the ghouls and all that, but like this could have been good. I just think it's a bit rushed. It's a bit dark. It's a bit mature. It's a mature anime, but extremely overrated anime opening. Like it's not good. Unravel is not a good anime opening, but people say it is. And yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is just it's so-so. The first season, the first season still has its good points, and it's still interesting, and you kind of see the character develop and all the struggles he goes through, and it gets kind of dark near the end, but like it's still good. It's a bit rushed, but still good. Now, after the first season, that's when things just completely fall apart. So the second season and the third season, I rank really low. Now, I didn't watch the fourth season. So you have Tokyo Ghoul Route A, and then you have Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then you have like the second season of Tokyo Ghoul Red, which I haven't watched. So I've only watched I call them the first three seasons. I haven't watched the fourth season. I never got around to it because the show is just not that good. Like, this is lower C tier stuff here. I mean, I might rank. I might rank the third season of Majutsu no Index actually higher than both of these, because at this point the pacing is just ridiculous, like completely rushed. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how how these two franchises have so much in common in what they do that's bad, and pacing. They both are awful at pacing. Um, so the Tokyo Ghoul anime is the second season very bad at pacing, and not only is it bad at pacing, but they changed the storyline. At this point, they literally started changing the storyline. They did not follow the manga, and they kind of came up with an alternate um, reality or something. Like, they actually changed the storyline for the manga. They made it worse. Plus, they rushed, so they added a whole bunch of confusion to anime watchers. You would have to read the manga to understand, why. Why what's happening is happening, and they rushed it, and it's so confusing. And they just throw a whole bunch of characters at you. And then the Tokyo Ghoul Re is actually a little better. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna rank it a little higher, because this is a separate cast of characters. It was a little interesting. And then guess what? This one actually follows the anime a little bit better. I mean, it follows the manga a little bit better. So this one has, I think, plot inconsistencies with the second season. So the third season has plot inconsistencies with the second season, because I think it actually follows the manga better. So if I remember right, like there's a lot of plot inconsistencies because they, for some reason, they just changed very important aspects of the story in the second season. So the manga is apparently different, and so they really messed it up, big time. Like, they handled it very poorly. Let's just put it that way. So that's why they're getting on the lower end of C tier here, because there's some serious flaws in the second and third seasons of Tokyo Ghoul. There's a lot of confusion. So yeah. So notice, yeah, I did not give any A or S tiers because these franchises, they're Tokyo Ghoul and Majutsu no Index and Railgun and all that. So they have potential. They could have been good, but they have serious fundamental flaws that prevent them from being successful anime. So that's it. That ends my tier list, part 2 for anime that start with the letter T. Believe it or not, there's actually only one more video left. That'll be my last one in this anime tier series.